Welcome back for another video. In 2002, FPL launched, and from the 06-07 season, they started logging rank finishes on your profile. So it's 20 years since that feature was added. Only 5 managers in history have ever achieved 10 top 10k finishes, and today's guest is one of those, making his debut on the channel. His last 20 straight seasons, top 100k. He's got a couple top 1ks in there as well. He might be the greatest FPL manager you've never heard of. It's TK Balva, or otherwise known as FPL Egypt. So he's going to share his FPL team with us. He's going to sort of lay it all out, how he's seeing the state of play this season. So welcome to the channel, mate. Can you tell us a bit about yourself and how you got into FPL?
Okay, hi, Oscar. I'm glad to be with you. Hopefully this will be helpful and beneficial for the viewers. How I got into FPL? In 2005, I started to play Fantasy Champions League. And then I heard of the Premier League Fantasy. I joined in the middle of season 2005-2006. This was my first season ever. I just loved it. Once I've joined it, I never stopped it. It became like my favorite thing to do. It's like addiction, you know.
It is really addictive, yeah. FPL's got a massive presence in Egypt as well, right? I'm guessing Salah's probably played a huge part in that, but
Definitely.
like England is the most popular country in FPL. About 30% of teams are English managers, but yeah, Egypt is actually number 2, which people watching might not have known. How does it feel to be the number 1 manager in your country? Do you pay attention to the all-time leaderboards at all?
But really, it doesn't affect my performance. And as I told you, I just do the same thing, and I just do my homework. I just love football. I've been following football since I was 6 years or 7 years old. But I just love football and I watch a lot of football. So that really helps as well. Yeah.
Okay, well, let's have a look at this draft then, because I'm really curious to see, and I'm sure the viewers are, to see how you lined up. So let's start in goal.
Just a disclaimer: this is not funded for by any chance. Yeah.
No, of course. I mean, if you guys would like to see another video with Tarek near Gameweek 1, if he's made any changes, do let us know in the comments. But this is where he's currently at with his draft. And we've actually got the same keeper, which makes me happy. So in goal, you've got Kinski, and your back line is Mosquera, Mykolenko, and Aina. So can you talk us through the keeper pick and the back 3 you're starting there?
For the keepers, and has always been my strategy to go for 8.5 goalkeeper combo. I believe it's maybe the first time we'll ever get maybe a top 6 team with 4.5 goalkeeper. It was always maybe 15th, 14th, 13th, Brighton, Leicester, that sort of teams. But this is the first team to get a proper top 6 team, especially after the reinforcements done by Spurs. They got Senesi, they got Van Hecke. De Zerbi is a good manager. They had a great ending to the season last season. So I have not high hopes, but okayish hopes for them to do well defensively. So for 4.5, hopefully it doesn't go wrong from there. Yeah.
No, I think I agree with that. I'm expecting him to have a much better season, and you can't ask for much than a 4.5, but I think there'll be a solid defense. Mykolenko.
Especially there's no European distractions as well.
Exactly, so, yeah, that's huge.
One game per week should be nice.
Yeah, and that's obviously the same is true for Chelsea, and we'll talk about them in a second because you've got a couple of Chelsea players as well. Yeah, Mykolenko and Aina, it feels like they should be 4.7 mil. Like, I don't know if they'll ever do pricing like that before Gameweek 1, but that would be an interesting change because I think they're maybe too good for 4.5, but they're not 5 mil defenders, if that makes sense. So let's have a look at your midfield then. So you've got Gross, you've got Bruno, you've got Palmer, Szoboszlai, and Lefebvre. So, yeah, going back to that, where do you see Palmer and Chelsea in general this season? Like, under a new manager, key players getting the summer off, like Palmer and João Pedro, no Europe. What's your read on Chelsea?
Once Alonso joined, I was really interested in Chelsea players. But watching the highlights of the last 2 games by Chelsea, Palmer is a bit not back to form. Maybe it's just the beginning of the preseason. But he was in my team before the Spurs game. But after the Spurs game, I'm having second thoughts. But yeah, Alonso did a great job at Leverkusen. Hopefully, the same in Chelsea. João Pedro had a great game versus Australian team, but not so much versus Spurs. I will follow Palmer for the next preseason games, but if he doesn't show much, I might just skip him. But he's definitely on my watch list for the whole game in Gameweek 4.
Yes, I mean, it's really generous pricing this year. The fact that you can have the most expensive player of all time with Haaland, but you can also have Bruno, plus you're able to fit in Palmer, really high ceiling player when he's on it, plus João Pedro. I feel like they've been a bit generous this season. Up front, yeah, you've got Haaland and you've got João Pedro, so super template, captain Haaland in Game Week 1. Is there any chance you won't have Bruno and Haaland by Game Week 1, or does that feel pretty settled for you?
I'm pretty certain, unless maybe Haaland doesn't start the Charity Shield game. I might then reassess. And I believe everyone will do the same. And if he doesn't start, it's a bit unconfirming for me to have him. So I'll have second thoughts to that.
That's actually a great point. Like, what's the plan, everyone? If we get to the Community Shield and Haaland's not in the squad, I don't think anyone's really thought that far ahead what they would do in that situation, but that would really shake things up. Like, do you just keep him and bench him Game Week 1, or do you just go for the no Haaland approach? I'd imagine he does start Game Week 1, but that would be an interesting dilemma if he's not in the squad, or if there's some indication he might not start in Game Week 1.
Especially Coventry at Game Week 3 is really tempting. Maybe some people will go for triple captain as well.
Yeah, this is it. Like, I was talking about this in a video yesterday or the day before, and it was about going with a no Haaland draft. But you get to Game Week 3, and it's like, what do? Do you go really early with your free hit to get Haaland in for Coventry home, or do you just hope for the best and try and get those points from the other players? So, as it stands, then you've got Dubravka, Kerkez, Thomas, and Destan on your bench. Which players are the most locked in your team, would you say?
Locked? Maybe Mosquera. I like Mosquera. Even yesterday he had a good game versus Girona, Almeria. With Saliba absent, I believe he will definitely is not Gabriel, but at 5.5 it's just a fine pick. Kinski, as I told you, unless Vicario or any surprise stays, then we'll have second source. Bruno settled. Gross, Gross, I'm really interested in him, especially yesterday. Friendly, he got the penalty and an assist as well. So at 5.5, that's a steal for sure. Haaland and João Pedro. As a start, I had Thiago from Brentford, but he had 0.5 less than Thiago, and Chelsea are hopefully doing much better than Brentford this year. I favored Pedro. Maybe that's it for lock picks. The rest is still under monitoring for the preseason. No one knows. Imagine if Vinicius Junior joins Arsenal, definitely. Or
yeah, that would shake things up as well.
But a lot, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, João Pedro, he's been really good in pre-season. I thought they priced him too cheap for 7.5. I feel like he should have been the same as Thiago. So yeah, I feel like he's an absolute lock as well. Yeah, it was. Gabriel was absent from Arsenal's last pre-season game. It was Hincapie that played left centre back, I believe. Mosquera started right centre back, so he does look good value. He looks set to start right centre back for at least a while because Saliba's out. I also tweeted about Gross actually. I saw the same thing you just mentioned. He looks like he could be on pens. Also got an assist in their last friendly. Costulas was on the pitch at the time. He scored some pens before and he didn't take it. So yeah, he's an interesting one, Gross. No midfielder, 5.5 mil and under, scored more points per game than him last season as well. So there's a lot going for Gross as a pick. Looking at this bench then, you've got Kerkez, but then you've got Thomas and Destan and Dubravka. So, two of those probably won't play. Dubravka won't, Destan might be an impact sub. So you're not going for the early bench boost then?
Like yourself, as we chatted previously, I'm still 50-50. I might just go for it. I remember last year we had Dubravka starting at 4, so it makes things much easier. Now if you have to bench boost, you either wildcard and get stuck with the poor keeper, or you have to waste transfer to get a goalkeeper. So it's not ideal. If Palmer keeps disappointing me in the preseason, I just might get Foden instead of him. He's not doing much better, but at least it's cheaper. For the remaining money, I could get Verbruggen for Dubravka. I could get Shaw for Thomas. I could get Calvert-Lewin for Dustin. So now I could bench boost for week 1, having the same team except for those 4 changes: Foden, Verbruggen, Shaw, and Calvert-Lewin. It's not the best bench boost, but at least I get to keep the setup I'm settled on it, and I don't need to wildcard game week 3 or 4, nor 3 hit. I then could have maybe 3 to 4 changes for game week 3 or game week 4 to have Palmer in place. That's the plan.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, obviously he's cheaper. He's had a price discount this season, but he's still pretty expensive, Palmer. So, yeah, that makes sense. There could be one area that you just go down and free up all the money you need to have a full 15 that will play and is bench boostable. Yeah, there are benefits to going early, like being debated. You know, like when you use your first wild card, you can free up that 0.5 million from your bench keeper if you use it before. Exactly. But yeah, you know better than anyone, so we'll see. I'll be interested to see if your final team is set up for a bench boost or not.
Definitely could share it with you later.
Yeah, definitely. I'd love to do another one. Which names, lastly, are, let's say, really of interest to you but aren't in your team at the moment? Are there any players in particular?
Mainly in midfield. I really like Semenyo. He had a really good season last season. Especially at Bournemouth, but yet Chelsea did very well. Also, one of Bomo or Cunha, especially with the Haaland Ipswich in the first 2 games, I think they could do really well. I tried to, if I was planning to bench boost, I tried to get him instead of Palmer, but I couldn't have a good bench. It was a bit tough. Yeah, that's mainly it. At defense, definitely Gabriel, but it's just too expensive. 8 million. Definitely you could find better, not better player, but better pick for value.
Yeah, Gabriel's such an interesting one because he's so expensive. But if he has another season that's similar, he'll actually will be pretty good for 8 mil, right? Because like Thiago, you mentioned, he scored 22 goals, which is exceptional. Like only Haaland scored more, and he got something like 30 fewer points than Gabriel last season, despite having such a special year. So like when I reframe it that way, I think, Gabriel's actually not bad for 8 million, but it does depend on carrying that form over, and we've got no Saliba, so we'll have to see. Other players like Rice could be missing.
You know what? It was just one injury away for Haaland or Bruno, just for everyone to get Gabriel.
Yeah, it's so true. Like right now, it just feels like they make sense because you've got 2 solid captains, but yeah, if either of one of those was to pick up a knock, or if I don't know, Maresca says Haaland's not going to be back till game week 2 or something, then all bets are off. Anyway, Tarek, thank you so much, mate, for taking the time to talk to us. I'll link his Twitter account below if you'd like to follow him. As I say, if you'd like a follow-up video with Tarek right before game week 1, if his team has changed, then let us know in the comments. Tarek, thank you, mate.
Thank you, Octus. Thank you. My pleasure.